it's interesting. So mystery, our overall goal is to help people be the happiest they can be in their work environment, which is a pretty broad and nebulous goal. Um, the company actually hasn't always been in the B2B space. When the company first launched pre-pandemic, we were actually in a consumer business that was actually very similar. We were offering experiences for mystery date nights, mystery being the itinerary, you bring your own date. Um, and then pivoting into B2B, that sort of same thread of focusing on, what are ways that technology can make people happier is really quite core to our mission and goal. How that manifests itself in the customer experience today is that, our core business is that we offer the sense of connectivity as a service. Sometimes we use the expression morale as a service, which I found is something that resonates pretty well with investors and is a little bit business jargony for a lot of folks. But what's interesting about it in some ways is that we're selling an outcome that we can't fully control, that we are creating opportunities for people to form connections with each other. But we can't force anyone to have connections. That's not a real thing. Being vulnerable around people that you work with and forming trust and connectivity with them are things that sort of has to come from, within your own sense of self and your own desires. But what mystery does is we sort of create the opportunities for those things to happen. And so what that looks like is that we offer, virtual events that are better than any virtual events, and in many cases better than in-person events that you can get anywhere in the world. And when I think about how that solves that problem of connectivity, I like to think about it, and where credits due, my product manager sort of gave me this metaphor that I really appreciate and honor to. And it's the old model of, corporate office working was that everything revolved around the office. And that model created this sort of common context for everyone to come together. And so people had organic hallway conversations, they had the kind of water cooler chats, and, they might even invite each other out to happy hour. And, that worked pretty well for people that, didn't have kids and, were okay drinking or being around alcohol, and people who, were physically able to go to happy hour. So it certainly constrained the number of people it worked well for, but it worked pretty well. And then I think what happened during COVID is that so many companies decided to transition to online, and they tried to sort of recreate all of those same mechanisms without realizing that the center of work isn't a physical office anymore, it's the internet. And trying to directly apply all of those same things ends up not working out so well, as anybody who's been to a super boring virtual happy hour can tell you, that a bunch of, 30 people sitting around a conference call, sipping beer and answering one question at a time isn't super engaging and doesn't actually form the type of connections that you used to have, going out to a bar and having more candid conversations. And so the way we think about it is, rather than trying to, shove everybody back to the office to, bring back the old center, there's a ton of advantages to working remotely. And we are in the business of trying to create those, what are the mechanisms for building trust and connectivity and interacting on a human level with your colleagues in a world where the center of work is the internet.